What's up YouTube, I'm just another guy and welcome back to Gibraltar United. So here we are today against Dynamo. Pretty big game, we know what's at stake here. We either go through and we definitely have group stage football this season and give ourselves that chance of getting that Champions League money once again, or we get knocked out and have to go into the Europa League playoffs and give ourselves a real tough task of getting to any sort of group stage. And of course Europa League doesn't have that money backing it up and we want the money, so we know what's at stake here. Let's go into the match. So 10,000 people are already, out here. Obviously, it's a sellout. We always get sellouts in Europe pretty much, so that's a really good thing. One thing I want to talk about is surrounding the registration. Now, you have to have, in the Champions League, for those of you who don't know, some of you may not, in the Champions League, in Europe anyway, you have to have 4 players who have trained in your squad, who count as being trained in your squad. And what that means is they have to spend, I believe it is, 3 years under the age of... Wait, what is... I can't remember the exact ruling off the top of my... God, what is it? You have to spend 3 years at the club from the age of 18 or... From the age of 21 or below, I believe it is, to be counted as trained in the club. So basically what I mean is, why I kept saying 18 is because you can sign a player at the age of 18, they spend 3 years at the club, and then they can officially be counted as being trained from your club. Now, technically, the rule is meant to try and allow for youth players or forced youth players to be put through in your team. But like I said, there is a workaround for the rule. So you have to have 4 of them players, and you also have to have 8 players who are trained in the nation. So what that means is the same thing. They have to spend 3 years being trained in the nation under the age of 21. So, again, there are workarounds, but they don't have to be specifically from your club. So they could be from other clubs in the nation. Our club right now only has 2 of them. 2 people trained from the club, 2 people trained from the nation. Them players are Roma Perez and Amari. So as a result, we're only allowed to register 19 people because those 6 people I would need to be counted as trained from Gibraltar, the nation, I can't select them. I have to have them 6 places spare, so, it's sort of as a punishment in a way. So as a result, I was unable to register these 2 new players I signed, Mazzitelli and Musta. So what I did is in the second registration period, I was allowed to make 1 replacement. That means I can take 1 player out, put 1 player in. So I took out Mattia Albi and I put in Bekim Musta. I decided I'd rather add the new defender in now. I mean, in the next registration period, I'll probably have sold Miller by then or one of my strikers. So that way I'll have a free space, which I can just put Mazzitelli in. That's if we do get through, obviously. But, yeah, it should be fine. It just means, I didn't realize I was close to my limit because it's never been a problem before. Because I've never, or personally, we've not had to register a lot of people. If they, we've just always had quite a small squad. Now I'm adding a bit of squad depth to it. I can't actually register everyone. So that's a bit of a problem, but I'll overcome it. It's not a major problem, it's just a minor problem. For example, I don't actually need 2 first choice keepers. I could easily sell Jordan Smith. That's a free spot. I need to register 3 keepers, but again, by having them 8 spots clear, or them 6 spots I need technically clear for my Gibraltar players, I wouldn't actually have to register 2 more goalkeepers. They would count as my spare players. So there are workarounds to all of these things, and I'll just have to work around it. As I've done up to this point, and as I will continue to do. But what that does mean is today's lineup is Cox in goal, Benitez, Perez, Melti, and Meltea again. Mattia, sorry, I think I said that wrong first time. There you go. Mattia, Musta in defence. Midfield from right to left is McCourt, Morgan, Sidibe, and Carlos. I'm actually going to change the role up here. I want to go to a ball-winning midfielder, actually, defend. And up front we have Sonogo and Miller. And then the bench is Smith, Stockbridge, Amari, Evans, who is a youngster. Could be making his debut today if he comes on, although it's highly unlikely with Di Matteo and Thomas both on the bench. But the reason he's coming is because with Amofa injured and with us being unable to register our new centre mid, I had to just put someone on the bench. And Evans is a pretty decent player. He got a half decent ability and one of the best young players we currently have, actually, which is again kind of sad. But I thought he'll go on the bench today. Di Matteo, Tommy Thomas, and Rod Austin as well. So 2 numbers has to be handed out. 1 to Dan Evans, who can get you can get 31. It's not a relatively high number. And Musta, you can have 15, I guess. 15 will do, I guess. And there we go, Europa point. We need a result of this match. We were given the favourite tag for the home game. And, Dynamo were given the favourite tags for their home game. So, obviously, today's game is very important. And today's game is where we're going to have to try and perform at our best, pick up a result. Obviously, if we can grow through this whole game without conceding, we've poised ourselves up for a great chance of going through. Because even if we don't score, as long as we don't concede, it's a pretty good result. So, let's go into this game. They've gone 4-3-3. You apply that advice. And do the team talk as well. Why not? And let's go, Gibraltar United Dynamo. 4 times we've played Dynamo. 4 times we've failed to win. I think we've lost 4. No, wait, we've drawn 1 of the games, but 3 times we've lost, 1 time we've drawn. So we've not ever won against Dynamo, and we need to start that today. And it's a good save from Cox initially, from a very poor piece of defending from us to actually keep us in the game at 0-0. So not the ideal start from us, but maybe we'll get going now. 5 minutes into the game with 80% of the ball. Had a shot on as well, but off target. Let's hope this is the first real opportunity for our team. Here's McCourt on the right-hand side. Plays it through to Sanogo. Bang! Sanogo. We didn't take our chances a lot in the last match. Sanogo missed a few as well in the first leg, but he manages to take the first opportunity of the game for our team and gives us a 1-0 lead after just 5 minutes into the match. It was McCourt who did a lot of the work there, dragging the fullback out of position, creating that space for Sanogo, but you can't take away from the first touch finish Sanogo managed to produce in that. So 1-0 up, and that is perfect. That's exactly what we needed. And let's hope we can push on from this. You know, let's not stop here. Let's continue to try and grow on this 1-goal lead, because I mentioned how it is important for us to keep a clean sheet. But you know, if we can get a 2-goal deficit and keep a 2-goal deficit going into the next match, then that is brilliant. You know, that does wonders. And we didn't need to see that. Vincent Meita, whatever your name is, you give away a penalty, and that's not the smart thing to do. And Tokic, he's hit the bar. Oh my God, we've managed to keep ourselves ahead here. Wow, Vincent Meita somehow manages to live past that. You know, that was poor defending from him, and yet, oh no. Talking about how he lived that penalty scare, and then bang, Dynamo come along and score. Clearly Dynamo are up for this game. Their winger playing it in, and it was not great defending from Benitez, just allowing the guy to come in. I mean, the centre-back, Perez, maybe could have gone over and challenged him a little bit, tried to help Benitez, but it wasn't great defending from the right back. And as a result, we find ourselves 1-1, and that away goal has been given. And like I said, now that 2-goal deficit is quite important, and we've not really presented much of a threat in this match. Apart from the goal, we haven't had a highlight, and in fact, we've not had another shot on target apart from that goal. So not really offering too much going forward. At halftime, I think, you know, we'll need to turn that around. God gives our fans the performance they can cheer for. Maybe that was alright. I mean, he said that, you know, we've done well, but we've not particularly done well. But I don't want to be too harsh on them either. I don't really know, because I feel like I might be a little bit harsh on them in the second leg if we don't perform well. And I don't want the same words to be repeated over and over again. I want to make sure the words are fresh, so they hurt a little bit more when I bring them up. But 64 minutes into the game now, and not really doing much more. You know, not really offering anything still. So I'm actually going to take Stephen Miller off. We're going to bring Rod Austin on. We're also going to take Carlos off and bring Tommy Thomas on as well, TT. And just, you know, just see what that does for the next few minutes or so. Dan Morgan will probably stay on the field of play. Oh no, it was a highlight for Dynamo. Deep in our half. Rosman. Oh my God, Cox was right there. What happened? Dynamo take a 2-1 lead, but what happened to Cox in goal? He was just, it was right at him. He could have easily have called that, surely. Halilovic. Oh, that's poor keeping. That is straight at him. He should be able to save that, and without a shadow of a doubt. And we're going to go attacking now. And, yeah, we're going to go attacking. And we're going to just, you know, push a little bit further forward, hopefully. Because we kind of need a goal. We're going to go overload for these last 3 minutes. We kind of need a goal. 2 away goals is nowhere near acceptable. And it puts us in a shitty situation. You know, 1-0 is bad enough, but 2-1 is just terrible. And we've given ourselves a hell of a task to overcome in the next leg. Send the assistant there. Spirited defeat. No, that wasn't a spirited defeat. There's no such, you know, there is such thing as a spirited defeat, but not against us and Dynamo. We should be more than that. Either way, I'll meet you guys back for the second leg, where obviously, like I say, we need to turn this tie around, spin it on its head, but it's gonna be a bit of a task, and it wasn't a great performance out there, and obviously, you know, something needs to change. and we need to see more of a performance. So, in front of 21,541 people, we have 90 minutes to save our Champions League campaign. Team for the day going out there, it's going to have a few changes in it, just because a few people have returned to the starting lineup, or are fit again for the starting lineup. So, what we're going to do is, just thinking a few things here. Yeah, I think we'll go with that. So, what we're going to have is we're going to put Casanilio, whatever. We're going to put him back up front alongside Sonogo. We're actually going to put him to a poacher. I think I was meant to do this before, but I'm going to put him as a poacher today. We're also going to put Amoffa back in the team. Now, the thing is with Amoffa is he cannot play ball in the midfielder, and I want a sort of defensive role in the team. So what I'm thinking is I might play him as a deep line playmaker defend. So his sort of role is to tackle, is to be in that holding position, but maybe not necessarily, you know, other things. So he'll be closing down much more. He'll be running wide with the ball wherever possible as well. So yeah, you know, a few changes there, a few people returning to the starting lineup. Also, one of the decisions I made, or just then, was that I wanted Carmine Di Matteo to be dropped to the reserves and Miller to be on the bench. You know, being in a position that we're in, we may need to change up tactic. We may need to throw a few additional strikers or attacking players on the pitch. Therefore, I'm going to go with 2 strikers on the bench in Miller and Austin. Just to sort of add a few options on there, and plus, you know, they can play a few different roles and stuff, so that does benefit as well. We do have other options, but yep, let's go out there against Dynamo. They upset the odds with their victory in the first leg. They reckon this journalist from, I guess, in Croatia, he reckons that Dynamo are going to scrape it 1-0 with their 1-goal advantage as well. He thinks that's going to come into play, and fingers crossed here we can get a result. You know, we just need to take a chance. Well, first of all, it's not about taking the chances, because we did take our chance in the last game. It was about offering more going forward, because we did very little in the last match in terms of going forward with the ball. And good tackle from Amoffa very straight away, and this could be a dangerous attack if we play our football right, if we play our passes right. Sonogo going with I would say an audacious pass. You know, he was trying quite a bit there to find Casilio, whatever his name is up front, Castellano. But it's gone through to him, actually. Big old Jonathan. Ah, he's not taking it. Ah, coming back into the team. Castellano, whatever his name's pronounced differently every time. But unable to find the back of the net in the first click opportunity of the game. And Tokic. Oh no, the ball's been played through. Really well done from them, and Cox with a good save. I'm actually going to change something quickly. I'm just thinking, I want to play target man attack with Sonogo. I think that might be a better combination with a poacher playing alongside him if we actually play Sonogo in a slightly more push forward target man role. Stop him coming deep, and Cox with a good save is actually able to get behind the ball this time and make a save. Good tackle from Amoffa, doing his job there, tackling the ball, winning us the ball back now on a few occasions, as we've seen, as defensive mix-up, and we get an away goal, and we get ourselves back in it. Jonathan Castellano with the goal to get us back in the game. 34 minutes into the match as well. At this current moment in time, of course, Dynamo still go through with their 2 away goals, but it's a lifeline for us, and it means 1 more goal is what we need to not only give ourselves a lead, but even if Dynamo were to score a goal in this match, we'd still need 1 more just to force extra time. So it's all about that 1 more goal now. Once we've jumped over that initial hurdle, this next one is not so big. Alright, here's Sonogo. Maybe a goal before half-time. That would be great. As Carlos, poor, very poor, tame shot. I mean, I understand the idea. He tried cutting across the face to the keeper, but he expected it and he was able to save it. So, 1-0 up, looking very threatening going forward. Have a lot of opportunities from us, but still not taking enough of them. Here is Sidibe. Oh, hitting the crossbar. He scored a free kick in the last match. Unable to repeat it this time round. And again, straight away, another highlight for us, maybe. Nope. Could even be a counter-attack. A lot of red and white shirts to push forward. Not enough, maybe back covering. Kunik, or whatever that guy's name was. Playing it backwards. So now we've got a few more people behind the ball. They're passing it around quite deep in their half. But don't know if they're going to get dispossessed. We're not really getting close enough to them. And still they're going forward with the ball. And they do manage to get that goal I spoke about. After missing that free kick and trying to build up a bit of play, we end up conceding a goal. It's still not the end of the game. It's still not game over. We just need to get one more. And I'm going to hold a team talk here. Just calmly encourage the lads. But we do need one more goal now to force extra time. Here is Sanogo. Get in there, Sanogo with the goal. Getting us back in the game. Absolutely bloody fantastic. And it is a good assist as well from Jonathan, our big man up front. Carlos with a good header forward. He saw the run. He knew the space Sanogo had. Sanogo, so much time and space around him. I would have absolutely been peed off if he hadn't have taken it. If he somehow missed that chance, but he didn't, and he slotted it home. That is brilliant now. 2-1, and it will, as things currently stand, it would go into extra time. If we got another goal, we'd be the team with the upper hand. So that's what we need. We need one more goal. But again, it's Dynamo looking to build up play from their own half, and they're passing it around beautifully. Got forward quickly, but Cox with a good save. Cox with a very good save. A few things going on there. I think Claudio from the egg team, picked up a yellow card. See, it says Amoffa, hasn't done particularly great, but from what I've seen from him, he doesn't look too bad. Right, 15 minutes remaining. Carlos is looking very tired. So what we're going to actually do, instead of bringing Tommy Thomas on, I think instead we're going to bring Miller on. Oh, is Miller pretty good as a winger? I don't even know. We'll bring Miller on either way. We'll also bring Dan Morgan on. We'll take off Amoffa. Bring Dan Morgan on just to see what he can do. See what he can contribute to the match. Hopefully not nothing negative. But I do think we'll have to make a change up front as well. Castellano, whatever. Mez looking very tired. Now we are forced into extra time, and I will... actually, I'll keep things the same. I'll go into the team talk. You need one more goal, lads. Really, I should have said that. I shouldn't have let the team talk. Just, the assistant do that. But yeah, we'll still win it. You know, win with a shout, with a fair shot of going through. But I think we will make that sub now. Actually, I want to go into advanced tactics quickly, because I'm someone that, you know, when making subs in extra time, I do like to think about my penalties. 13 penalty, 11 composure. Now, what is Rod Austin? See, he's 9 penalties. 6 composure. Now that's not going to benefit. I mean, it'll benefit the team if we're going to really go for this win in the 90. And I think that's what we're going to do. I'd rather win the game in the 90 than try and be, you know, manipulative and be like, oh, I'll keep him on the field of play and we'll get that better penalty taker on. I do think of it when I'm making my penalties, but when I'm making my subs and stuff. But I want to win the game in 120 if I can. Headed forward. Here's Rod Austin, just brought on the pitch. Not a good pass to Sanogo from the striker. Miller should be getting back there and tackling and winning that ball. And in fact, they're attacking down that right-hand side very dangerously. And they go for a shot, and it is pretty poor, really. Cox with a decent save in the end, getting behind the ball. So in these last 15 minutes, we're going to go attacking. We're going to go for the win. Austin trying to run forward from kickoff. Actually been brought down, tackled, fouled, injured, and will have to come off the field of play. Jesus Christ. Down to 10 men. Really wish I hadn't made that sub now, because that is actually very frustrating. And in fact, oh no, I'm on attacking. I actually want to go back to control, sorry, in my build-up play. But actually, if we get a goal here, it's Sanogo. Needs to lay it off. He decides to play it back. Good. Sanogo still. Sanogo! Oh, he's hit the crossbar. Oh my God, Sanogo. Very unlucky there not to find the back of the net from what was a half chance. Yellow card for Fran Benitez. Oh no, they got the ball. Please don't score. Oh, very, very poor long shot from them. Oh, someone's going to hobble off apparently. Have they been forced down to 10 men? I need to check something quickly. He has been injured, and they are also down to 10 men. So that is very good information to know, because we should actually go attacking now. Both down to 10 men. Both of us are tired. We seem to be the team a little bit more momentum on us, on our side. And this tie will be down to a penalty shootout. So I'm just going to remove all of these guys, and I do like to take my kick takers. So Sidibe is going to be taken first, of course. Then it's going to be Miller. Then I think Perez. See, now I like composure. In these situations, especially shootouts, you need composure. I mean, when you're taking a penalty in the game, you still need composure, but penalties can become more of a factor. I mean, you've not got as much on the line. So right now I'm tossing up. Do I want Musa Sanogo coming out and taking a penalty? Or do I want the better penalty takers of a slightly worse composure. I think we're going to go with that. I think I'll go with McCourt first, then I'll go with Muster on his only second game. Then if it goes to shootout, serves to sudden death, it'll go Sonogo, then Morgan, then it'll probably go then to Fran Benitez, then Meaty, and then Cox last. 10 men on the field. And who's taking first? It's us. It's our chance to take the lead in the shootout. Big penalty first, penalty. You know, you want to put your team on a good start. You know, you need a good start in the shootout. You don't want to put extra pressure on the second kick taker. I don't like in FM as well how the kick taker always stands there first, because, you know, from the game they always just seem to just shuffle over. In real life, of course, everyone's at the centre circle, and normally the player taking it takes his good time walking up there. And we do manage to convert the first penalty. Get in there, 1-0 up. Now it's all on Cox to try and save it. Oh, they've missed. They've hit the crossbar. Ivinci, whatever his name was. Ivinci Miller. Good penalty. I can say good save. It almost was a good save from them. Here's Dynamo, and they do manage to finally get themselves on the scoreboard. 2-1. Perez now. Roma Perez with a goal. Here is Paulie. He manages to convert Dynamo's third penalty. 3-2. Up steps number 4, McCourt. He buries that one home. McCourt with the penalty, making it 3-3. Claudio has to score, and he misses. Claudio has misses. We have won the shootout. I don't know who will be counted as the hero in that situation, because they missed 2 of them themselves of their own accord. But either way, we managed to get ourselves through in a bit of a nail-biting affair. Rod Austin managed to play all 2 minutes of the match before being forced off injured. Let's see the end of the first half and the start of the second. It will go down as a memorable moment in our club's history. I think it's the first time ever that one of our games has been forced to a penalty shootout as well. So that's quite a good moment for the club. But look at that, we came back from being down in the first leg, coming back, showing great team spirit, and continuing to fight. And despite the fact we were 1-1, we were 3-2 on aggregate at one point, we knew what we had to do. We had to get the second goal, and we did it. So that is brilliant. Through to the Champions League playoffs for the second time in our career. It was a fantastic strike. The fairy tale continues, of course. It depends on the draw, really. Well, obviously, it's an honour to be in the same draw as some of these teams. We're linked with Jens Sorensen. I'm not discussing transfer stories today. He's a very good player. One player I'm actually trying to get, well, I did try and get a few days ago. I think it will still be on the transfers if I went to it, is Brown. Isla Brown. 29 years of age, been at Chelsea his whole career. Actually had some pretty good years with Chelsea, most notably 2018. I don't know why it's 19. 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2021, 2022. Obviously, he's Chelsea, and even the 2022, 2023, you could argue. But yeah, his Chelsea career is now slowly dying out, and he's not featuring in many games. And I tried offering him a loan deal, but Chelsea wanted 20% of his wage. And I can't afford 20% of his wage. I don't even know what actually I can calculate 20% of his wage is 15,000 a week. I'm not able to offer him 15,000 a week. I mean, I would love to have him at the club. I mean, he's an absolutely class A striker. Look at him. I mean, just look at him. He's an absolute beast. I mean, I've actually played the Chelsea save as well, and I played one season of a Chelsea save. I still actually have that save, and I actually pushed him through in the first team. I made him my second choice striker, and he's actually a pretty good player in the first season. And I actually did a Germany save as well, which is uploaded on the channel I'm partnered with. And he actually played in the England team in the Euros and actually scored against me with Germany. So obviously I've seen bits of this guy, and I know he's good. And his England record as well, even in this save, is pretty good. So I would love to sign this guy. I mean, I know being physically able to sign him is going to be near impossible due to his wage and value, but like I say, I thought a loan was a decent, cheeky little way to do it. I mean, they agreed with everything. It's just they wanted the wage contribution, Chelsea, and like I said, I couldn't afford that. Currently, I can't afford it. I mean, if we get to the Champions League and maybe I nudged the board a little bit, because I could have asked the board, I could have been like, hey, can you complete the transfer for me for Brown? But I weren't too sure if we were getting through to the Champions League group stage at that point. So, I don't want to be like, oh yeah, come on, please, board. Give me this guy. I think he'll help us progress, reach our goals and stuff, when I don't even know what our goals are for the year. We could have, by the time we could have signed him, we could have been out of the Europa League and stuff. So that, then there's no point of us getting him. I've forced the board to get me someone I don't need. But yeah, the playoff draw is coming up, and that's what I'm sort of rambling on about. hopefully when the registration period comes up, like I said, we can replace a person. I said this before, I should say, before the games, and we can put our new centre mid in the team. You know, actually help him, put him in selection. There's another loanee out. If you look at our transfers, actually, because actually I've got 2 offers here. I'll look at my transfers in a second, because it's actually crazy how many loan offers or how many loan deals we currently have going on. So Cannons have loaned 4 of our players out, which is, I think, their max for them. I'm not actually sure if there's a max on the loan players you're allowed here. But yeah, Cannons have loaned out 4. We've also loaned out an additional 6 as well. So that's 10 loanees plus the 2 guys we've just got bids on. We're loaning out 12 players. I mean, I feel like Chelsea the amount of players we've currently loaned out. And they're all to people in, you know, either our current division, you know, either in the Premier Division or to the league below. I mean, I don't care who we loan our players out to. I mean, Lincoln currently have one of our players out on loan. Look, Lincoln, you know, that's a direct rival for the title. I don't care. I just want my, you know, if they're not going to play for me, why should I care if they're going to play for someone else? I'd rather they were out playing football and just sitting in my reserve, sitting in my youth system and never playing a game. So, yeah, Buffton, whatever, you can go to Angels if you can. But yeah, again, we're going to be an unseeded team. We're going to be in the pot with Trnava, Maribor, Viditon and AIK. Those are the people that we can't get. But the people that we can get, Tel Aviv, the team from Serbia, Stal Bucharest, who managed to beat, I guess, Olympiacos, Sparta Prague, and Red Bull Salzburg. Now, I know who I want. I want Tel Aviv. You know, beating them in the past and stuff. So, let's see who we get. So, Maribor, we'll get the Serbian team. Viditon, we'll get Red Bull Salzburg. I'm glad I avoided them. Gibraltar United, we're at home first yet again. I don't like being at home first. We'll play Stal Bucharest from Romania. Wow, first time we'd ever play these guys. I think it's the first time we've ever played these guys. I mean, don't get me wrong, I could easily forget. I've played this save long enough now. But yeah, first time we're going to ever play Stal Bucharest. Going into the unknown there. Never played a team from Romania either. By the looks of it, they do have some real players. In fact, they have a full squad of real players. Values are not particularly great, I don't think, for reflecting them, because the Romanian division, I don't think, is rated exactly high. But, you know, actually, one thing we could do is just have a little look at international. You know, that normally, if you play for an international team, you can be considered at a certain standard. So, this guy, Staminim, I think Stamin. He looks like a class act, actually. He looks really good. Alexander Oblak looks pretty good. You know, all these players look good, but in the end, I guess it just comes down to how we'll do. What's also their history like in Europe? What have they done so far in Europe this year? So Olympiacos has definitely been their toughest game, a 0-0 draw, even against the 10-man Olympiacos, before they got themselves a 1-0 narrow win at home. They then played against a Norwegian team, Molde, I'm not too sure, I think it's Molde, isn't it? Or Molde? I can't remember. I was taught this last year, but I still can't remember. Yeah, but they lost. They beat them 1-0 and 5-1. Clearly, their home is quite a fortress. You know, 5-1 and 1-0. It seems like that's the place they like to beat teams. So we might not be looking at heroics this time around. Who can say? Well, what have they been like in the past? They actually weren't in the Champions League. Wow, they haven't been in the Champions League actually. Wow. I always thought Stal Bucharest were the best team in the from Romania. I don't know why. Who's the other team in Romania that's pretty big? But in fact, when was the last time they were in the Champions League then? 2017, 2018. So it's almost been a decade since they've been in the Champions League. So this is actually quite a good run for them. Who is it? AFC Astra. See, now, I always thought, well, in real life, I always thought Stal Bucharest. So I had that team, actually, Dynamo Bucharest. I thought they were the big guys. Or even these guys, actually. I sort of ignored them. But yeah, you know, those are 3 names that I've definitely seen before in the past. Obviously, Stal Bucharest, as you can see, actually in the past, in the 90s and stuff, were actually a bigger team. But yeah, in the game, they've, you know, all the 3 names that I'd consider regulars or something, they've seemed to have fallen under the radar, and actually, you know, a lot of other teams have sort of jumped up the pecking order. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting game, definitely. You know, obviously you possess quality to be at this stage. You can't deny that. But you know, it's still going to be a tough game. So we are at home first. We are again considered favourites for the home tie, and again the team we are playing are considered favourites for the away tie. So the home leg is going to be the most important. It is going to be where we're going to have to pick up our result. We do have a game against Lincoln in between this. I'll probably just play as a weak team as I can. You know, I don't want to feature anyone major because it's such a big game those Steaua Bucharest matches are. But yeah, I'm going to look forward to it. Of course, group stage football has been secured this season, which to me is one of the main things. Also, if we're knocked out of this stage of the competition, say if we do get Europa League football, you know, last year we got Europa League football, didn't particularly get a lot of money out of it, but getting knocked out of this stage of the competition is still 1.68 million in the bank, and that is a lot of money. So, you know, even if we were knocked out here, we can still, you know, get a decent amount of money and then go into Europa League and try and win a few games. Obviously, we want group stage football in the Champions League, and it just means Steaua Bucharest are in our way from separating us from that. And, you know, if we can put in a performance like we did against Tel Aviv a few years back at this stage, then no doubt about it, we can go through. So, until next time, guys, peace out.